Good evening, everyone. Welcome to And Academy's Kaleidoscope session. I am Shubhangi and I lead the branding and communication efforts at And Academy. Before we dive right into today's presentation by Abhishek, I would like to talk a little bit about And Academy and what is it that we do here at And. So, just give me a moment. Yeah. So, And Academy is a one-of-a-kind online design school where we offer professional short courses in the domains of graphic design, interior design, and UI UX design. These are mostly part-time courses. We only have one full-time course that is in graphic design, and these are sort of courses that you can stack. So you start with a beginner level course and then you go on to an intermediate and then you go on to a advanced level course. So you can choose how to sort of move through these courses. Um, and Academy is also built on the pedigree that is IIAD. So, Indian Institute of Art and Design is a brick and mortar design school that is founded by Dr. Jitin Chadda, who's also the founder for And Academy. IIAD has been imparting design education for over a decade now, and Academy is actually built on the pedigree of IIAD. It's the online arm of IID. So in IID, you have degree courses, but in and you have more professional short courses. These courses are designed for people who are working or enrolled in full-time courses and want to upskill themselves or kickstart their career from a small sort of a course. Um, as I already mentioned, that we come from the design pedigree of IIAD, and all of our courses that we offer are delivered in an online fashion, but we sort of simulate an environment of a design studio or a design classroom where what you would find in an offline setup in a design school, we sort of create that environment online. So it's very live and interactive. It's not how this session is today. It's going to be in a webinar format. But usually our classes are in a live and interactive format where you sort of interact with your mentors and your peers, and there's group learning and discussion and feedback on your projects and all of those things. Also, all of our curriculum for the courses are designed by people that are working in the industry. So you get very updated, relevant knowledge that is out there in the design industry. Not only is the curriculum designed by these people who are working design practitioners and academicians, but also delivered by these people. So all of your mentors and our people who are working in the design industry who have their own practices or are working with other organizations like IBM or Ogilvy or Purpose or etc. etc. We also at AND focus on going beyond software learning. So we focus on design principles. You do get to learn relevant software, so a Photoshop or an InDesign or AutoCAD or your SketchUp. But what is it that you do on these software? The design principles, the fundamentals of design, the design thinking is what we teach here at And Academy. So we lay special emphasis on that. um, all of our curriculum is also woven with multiple projects that you do, and you get one-on-one feedback with the mentor and with your peers, and these projects sort of culminate into a market-ready portfolio at the end of the course. We also have a lot of faith in the quality of education that we provide, that we offer job guarantee on some of our courses, which is three of our graphic design courses and one of our UI UX courses. Other than that, you also get placement support. So you get to learn how to write emails to an employer or to a recruiter, how to build your LinkedIn profile, how to build your resume, and so many other things. So that is about And Academy. We were founded in 2022. We're 3 years old. We have had 1,200 plus learners with us. We have a body of 50 plus mentors, 200 plus hiring partners, and we're rated 4.6 on Google. So if you want to sort of check us out on Google, please do that. Coming to Kaleidoscope, this series that we're going to be talking about today. So, Kaleidoscope is a series that we conceptualized where we invite design experts to share their perspective or their knowledge on design. Today we have with us Abhishek. Um, Abhishek holds a master's degree in fashion experience and design management from STA Bocconi School of Management, Italy, wherein he has worked on various collaborative projects with brands like L'Oreal, Espirit, Marc Jacobs, Moreschi, Tod's, and Calvin Klein, to name a few. He also holds a bachelor's degree in fashion technology from National Institute of Fashion Technology and certification in customer relationship management from INSEAD. Uh, Apart from sharing his knowledge with students at IAAD, he also heads Indiano Pelletteria, a global luxury footwear brand, and Panch, a luxury homeware brand. Previously, he's worked with Carl International Private Limited, where he created a new business vertical of high-end luxury jackets for brands like Ann Taylor, Nordstrom, Liz Claiborne, Lance, and Gary Weber. With that, I will hand over to Abhishek sir to just like take over.
Thank you so much, Shubhangi, for the introduction. Let me just upload my presentation. Okay, so yeah, so thank you so much, Shubhangi, once again. Welcome everyone. Very good evening. So, what exactly are we going to do today? We are talking about blueprint for design entrepreneurs, right? So, we are going to introduce this model called business canvas. There's something which is applicable across industries, across sectors. I mean, any company, even if it's a startup, there's something which can be very handy model and can be applied to any business idea which you have. Even if you are basically established company and you want to scale it up, you have to basically map your entire activities across this canvas, which will help you to further scale it up, right? So this is something which we are going to talk about. So when we talk about business model canvas, this canvas has 9 basic building blocks in which there is customer segmentation, value proposition, channels, customer relationships, revenue streams, key resources, key activities, key partnerships, and cost structures, right? So we are going to go one by one around each activity to understand how multiple companies are using it, right? So certain facts before starting, I would like to share that which says 1 in every 13 people owns a business, be it small, be it big. Second is 2 out of 3 people worldwide think entrepreneurship is a good choice. I mean, everyone wants to be, be entrepreneur. Everyone wants to become a job creator rather than job seeker. 580 plus million entrepreneurs are around the world. Now, this is something which I would like to emphasize, that 90% of startups fail and 22% of them fail in the first year, right? So if I see that there is only 0.1% startups which actually survive, right? So this specific canvas could be a very useful tool to minimize your chances of getting fail and reach the successful factor, right? In today's scenario, wherein we are talking about wherein everyone in India is planning or trying to start their own companies, because of certain basic fundamentals which are not very much clear, most of the companies fail. And we talk about only the successful companies. So it seems that, entrepreneurship is very easy thing and we can do whenever we want. But it's not like that. People do not talk about. 99.9 companies which failed, no one talks about it, right? So what is the difference between idea and concept, right? Everyone has certain idea, but how it can be converted into a concept by applying this canvas. If you are thorough with this canvas and you are able to map entire activities across that 9 important parameters, your chances of getting failed will minimize, right? So let's try to understand in terms of aspect. Idea is at very initial stage, right? However, at the phase of concept, you might have developed and have a refined plan for it. Clarity in terms of idea, it's vague, it's still exploratory. and clear concept is something which is clear and detailed. Scope, broad and open-ended. Do you want to start, let's say you want to start a luxury footwear company? So that's a open-ended statement. You haven't decided who will be your target audience, whether it will be a kids wear, whether it will be a women's wear, whether it will be a menswear specific brand. So concept mate is more specific and targeted. Purpose, to inspire possibilities in terms of idea, and in terms of concept, it's to communicate a concrete direction, right? Example is that if we talk about an idea, it's like smart wearable for pets. I want to start something which is smart wearable for pets. But if we talk about the concept, it says a GPS enabled collar for dogs with health tracking and mobile app for owners, right? So business model canvas will help you to move from idea phase to the concept phase, right? So how do we define business model? What exactly is business model? I mean, in industry, you will find a lot of people are using terms like business model or business strategy. What is the basic difference between business model and business strategy? Well, so business model is something which tells you how your entire company is going to function, right? However, the business strategy says how you are going to compete with your competitors, how you're going to add value by offering similar products. Like, for example, Ferragamo is also offering shoes whose price point is 60,000 rupees. And Jimmy Choo is also offering shoes wherein the price is 60,000 only, right? So how Ferragamo is going to create value over and above Jimmy Choo is something which is called business strategy. How Jimmy Choo and Ferragamo are making money is something which is called business model, right? So today we are going to majorly focus on business model. So how do we define it? Business model says that this is a set of activities which create value. How do we create value? By developing any specific product or any kind of service which you are going to offer is something which is defined as create value. It further moves on to deliver value. So of course, you have created your value. Now you also have to deliver this value to your customers. So how you're going to deliver it to your customers, maybe from your physical stores, maybe from any online platform, maybe a kind of portal, or maybe from Instagram, or maybe from the Facebook, or maybe face to face, is something which is defined as deliver value. But third very important parameter is capture value. How you're going to capture the value. Why customer is going to come to you and take your services as compared to other people who are offering similar services in the market, right? And third is something which is we say that, after once you are able to capture the value, that means that once that you are able to capture the customer, you have to see how the entire, performance of your entire business model is, and then you again refine it. So this is something which keeps on innovating with time. You can't have one business model and it will not work for lifetime, right? For example, AI is now shaping up. Everyone is integrating AI in their businesses. So of course, you have to upgrade your business model, that how I can plug AI to create value and to capture value, right? So moving forward, if we have to divide the entire business model, we can divide in two major areas. One, in which we are focusing on the creation of that specific product. When I say product, it's not limited to only physical product, but I'm talking about any specific services, right? And second is that how you're going to, second phase is something which we talk about, the focus on distribution, that how you're going to make sure that this specific product or services are getting delivered to the customers, right? So when we talk about innovative or innovation in new business models, right? So there is something which is called product innovation. Product innovation is something in which not a lot of companies are involved in, right? You don't see every here and there that every day people are launching a new product, right? So for example, Tesla, when Tesla created a car, it was something which, I mean, electric cars were there. So Reva was first car which was electric, and it was there since very long. But none of the electric car was big enough with strong power. The torque was missing. but Tesla was the company who created it. So that was product innovation. Apple. So before iTunes, we used to hear music on Walkman or CD player, MP3 player. But when Apple launched a small iPod in which you can carry 231 songs and you can put that specific device in your pocket, that was product innovation. And because of that product innovation, MP3 markets was completely wiped off. CD player, CD, MP3 all got wiped off. Second is called process innovation. So what you're saying, demand is there and supply is there, but I have innovate the process. Example, initially we used to book taxis to go to the airport. And what was the process? That you first open Yellow Pages, you call Yellow Pages, Meru cab will pick up the call, and you will say that, at evening 4 o'clock, I have to catch a flight, right? And then that Meru cab will come, will take your address. Maybe they are going to call you a couple of times to ask that what is the exact location, because at that time Google Maps were not there. So after multiple conversations, they reach your place. You will sit in the car. It will take you to the airport, and then they will ask you for money. You're going to take out cash from your wallet and give it to them. So taxi service was there, and customers were taking that services. But what Uber did, what Ola did, they did a process innovation. They haven't changed taxis. So Ola and Uber are still offering taxi services only. But now what is happening? You open Ola or Uber app, you book a cab, they will get a notification within 5 minutes. Nearby cabs will come to you automatically. You don't have to even call them because GPS is active over there. Once they are here, you don't have to call and ask where have you reached, because you can also track them. You sit in the car, you reach the airport, and automatically the amount is getting deducted from your wallet. So that is something which is called process innovation. Now, when product innovation and process innovation comes together, then breakthrough business models generally are created, right? So any kind of company is good. Every one of them are making money, be it Apple or be it Amazon or be it Uber. It is, you have to understand how to innovate in process or in product, right? Now, this is basically business model canvas, right? There are 4 important parameters in this canvas, which you have to understand. First question you have to ask, what you would like to offer, right? And this canvas is applicable to B2C market and B2B market both. If you are a graphic designer and you want to directly reach the client and want to do B2C, it's fine. If you want to associate with multiple companies who are going to give you a lot of work to create graphics for them, which is B2B, again, it is applicable, right? So since the beginning, you have to have that clarity. What kind of offering do I want to create? Now, this offering could be something which is not existing in the market yet, which we defined as unmet need of a customer, right? Or sometimes people call it as pain point of customers. So this is something which you have to come up with. This is your idea. This is something which you want to offer. Why? Because there's something which is required by the market, but none of the players is offering something like that. Or it is getting offered by the market. I mean, some person is offering the similar services, but as I talk about process innovation, that the way it is getting delivered or the way the services are getting offered are not very much aligned, or customer is still not very happy. So you can improve that offering, and you can create your own company or your own brand in that perspective, right? So once you have defined your offering, once you have answered the question of what, second comes how you're going to create this offer, right? So in order to create such offer, if you are, let's say, offering a product, you have to have infrastructure for it. You have to have, let's say, factory. You might be having, you need some computers, you need certain softwares. I mean, that is called something which we say that, okay, how are we going to create that specific offering? Third important area is consumers or customers. Who is going to take this offer? Who is going to take my services? Who is going to buy my products, right? And fourth important parameter is finance. That means how my entire revenue system is going to operate? Do I want to have a transactional revenue streams, or do I have to have recurring revenue streams? We'll talk about in detail about all these things. So when I further move ahead, you will see that these four areas are defined into subcategories, which is this one. So when we're talking about what is your value proposition, we're talking about how is your key partners, key activities, and key resources. When we talk about customers, or we're talking about how we are going to reach to the customers, is your client segmentation, is our channels, and is customer relationship. And under finance, you have two specific boxes, which one is cost structure and second one is revenue streams. So let's dip down into each specific area to further understand how companies are operating around it. Right? This is something which we already spoke about. So first is customer segmentation, right? So this specific building blocks give you clarity that whom I want to target, right? You can't say, okay, I'm going to create a product and then I'm going to search customers for it. It should be other way around. As I told you that first of all, you have to understand, do you want to create a product for unmet need, which means none of the company offers such product or services? Or do you want to improvise or improve the existing product or services which are already there in the market? So demand is there, supply is there, but you are going to refine it and make it much more easier for the customers, right? So certain profiles which you can have is mass market. So you will say that, that I want to create a company which is for mass, right? For example, Bisleri. Now, if I say Bisleri bottle, who is target audience of Bisleri? Right? If you, I mean, anyone, be it a child, be it a women, be it a men, any person can buy Bisleri bottle and have water. So that's something in which the price is the major component. That's why they are saying that we are going to generate mass market. Second is niche. Okay, I want to become Sabyasachi and I want to only target ultra HNIs, right? So if you're not clear that who will be your target audience, you might be confused that where to sell my product. Second is segmented. So for example, we take about this example of airlines. Now, airlines mein business class is also there and economy class is also there. So that is segmented. I am offering one services, which means that I'm going to take passengers from Delhi to Bangalore. But in that specific plane, I have segmented two areas. So I'm going to target two different kind of audiences. One economy class, one business class. That's called segmented. Diversified is something which is generic, in which anyone can take the services. So first thing is important under customer segmentation, wherein you have to create profile of your customer. Who will be your customer? Second important parameter is types of customer. Now, let's say if you want to get into niche market, you can't become high volume business, right? Because Sabyasachi cannot produce 1 lakh lehengas every day and sell it, because that's not its target audience, right? Second is B2C, right? To business to customer, which means that you are a brand, you have opened your own store, right? And you are selling it. Now, if you are having your own store, by default, if you are a startup company, you cannot open 200 stores in one shot. So today, let's say you decided that, okay, I want to start a company, I want to start my own boutique, and you open one store in Hotskhas village, or maybe let's say you open this specific store in Southex, right? So investment is huge and you don't want to take chances. So you will be there. You invested in your inventory, you make the entire garment, you invested, let's say 50 lakh rupees in creating such product, and then you are sitting for the customers to come and buy, right? So yes, you will be having high margins, but the movement of your product will be slow. That's why a lot of companies do B2B and B2C. I mean, they balance it. So what example, for example, that they will be having their own stores, but they are going to sell also at Amazon. They're also going to sell at multi-brand stores. So these multi-brand stores or Amazon, such kind of platforms will buy the product in volumes, which means that you are going to get the cash in advance, right? Yes, but margins would be low. So you have to, in the beginning only, you have to understand when I'm going to create a proposition, who will be my target audience, and what kind of business I want to get into, right? This is one example which I have written over here. It's basically for Sabyasachi. So if you see that how he have defined, he has said that high net worth individuals is something who is the profiling of the customer. Bridal and groom is a main core category, 25 to 45 years. Global Indian diaspora, right? Which means that who are Indian origin, who are living in other countries as well, and are strongly still resonating with Indian heritage. They are talking about celebrities and public figures, and they're talking about art and cultural patrons as well. Right. So this is how basically they're defining their segment. This is something which is my target audience. And based on that, I'm going to plan all my activities accordingly. Second important area is value proposition. So you know already your customers, you know that what kind of business stream you want to get into. And then is what is your value proposition? Now, as I told you, that your value proposition could be in terms of quantitative, which means speed of your service, right? I think in today's scenario, everyone is aware of Blinkit. Everyone is aware of Big Basket, speedy services. I mean, you are still getting same kind of tomato ketchup on Blinkit, or even if you're going to Big Bazaar. The difference is that Blinkit, you order it within 5-10 minutes, you're going to receive the product, right? In Big Bazaar, you have to take your car, go to the mall, park the car, get inside Big Bazaar, buy ketchup ka packet, and come back home, right? So companies like Blinkit are majorly competing in terms of speed of service, right? Certain companies can compete in terms of price. Now, think if you want to offer similar product but reduce prices, which means the first column which we studied, your volume should increase. If your volume is increased, automatically your price will decrease, right? For example, if you are going to buy a car, a taxi car, and use that taxi car, you are going to charge more amount of money. But see Ola or Uber, they do not buy any car. They ask people to join, the people owners who have car, to join their company, their platform. And since they are not investing heavily on assets, their prices go down, right? Now, value proposition can also be qualitative. For example, design or customer experience they're talking about, that the kind of quality. I mean, most of the luxury brands, be it Versace, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Hermes, they are majorly competing on the kind of qualitative or customer experience which they are offering, right? This is one of the example. Again, I have taken from fashion and design companies, where when we're talking about Sabyasachi, the preposition value proposition says exclusivity and craftsmanship. When they say exclusive, they can't go for volumes, because if it becomes volume, it is not exclusive at all. They always talk about that our brand is strongly rooted to, Bengal or Kolkata culture. That's why you will see the kind of clutch they have introduced. They have the there is Bengal tiger, onto that. They have Taj Mahal also on the specific clutches which they are making, and selling that specific product in at 16,000 or 20,000 rupees. So they are talking about that they are not selling product, but they are selling a kind of piece which is heritage, which is promoting Bengal, which is having an essence of that specific state, right? He also offers bespoke services, which means that if you are getting married, you take an appointment. It's basically 1 year long process. So it is getting very bespoke. I mean, it is a kind of experience which he's trying to create by directly meeting you and understanding what kind of bridal or groom garment you want to create. Experiences. So when you go in the store, the kind of experiential store which they're offering, and they always say that our product is not having any expiry. It's timelessness. There is no expiry date for the product. So there's something which basically we are talking about in terms of value proposition, right? Channels. So once you have created your product, you know your customers, how you are going to reach to your customers, right? So channels, it could be your store, it could be your online website, it could be your Instagram page, it could be your Facebook. I mean, any specific touch point wherein customer is coming to know about you are defined as channels. So these channels are used to sell your product and services, and also to promote you, right? So if you talk about channels, there are 5 different phases. If you're a new startup, you will first create awareness about your company, which can only be done from these channels. So let's say a person is coming in your store, he will come to know, okay, what kind of product you are selling. Or if he is visiting your website, he will come to know that, okay, this is a kind of new brand which has entered. Veg non-veg is a recent brand wherein they are selling the same shoes what Nike is selling, right? Jordans. But they are telling that we are going to offer you better prices, right? Second is evaluation. Evaluate company's value proposition. Until and unless a customer is not entering your store or your website, he can't evaluate it, right? He knows, okay, Louis Vuitton exists, but he have never entered the store. He can't evaluate what kind of product they sell. They know, okay, bags, they sell bags, but what kind of bag? When you are going to go on the website and the stores, then you are going to come to know from where person can purchase. This is again channels wherein basically people decide from where to purchase. This is again the area where you are delivering it, and then post purchase, which means after sales services also you are providing from your channels. So again, this third element you have to understand. If you want to create directly operated stores, is you require huge amount of money, right? So let's say if you are starting a company and you say that, I don't want to sell my product in bulk. I don't want to give any third parties to sell my product because they won't be able to deliver the essence. I want to keep it to myself. But then as soon as you say at this phase that you want to have your own store, you have to understand the kind of investment which will go into it. And then you have to understand, okay, fine, where should I bring that investment to? Example, Michael Kors. In 1 year, Michael Kors opened 252 stores across Europe. Now, none of the company can open 252 stores in one shot in 1 year. Nobody wants to invest so much amount of money. So what they did, let's offer franchisee, right? Anybody who is having this big space can open Michael Kors store. So of course, I mean, they identified 250 different owners, and all of them have taken the franchisee, and immediately they got into the expansion, right? So again, it's a business model who will define in the beginning itself. Do you want to go volume? If you want to go volume, you have to have more stores. If you want to have more stores, you have to give franchisee. Apart from directly operated stores, you have to keep a proper balance between them, right? This is example of, again, Sabyasachi, wherein you can see that they are having 45% of revenues coming from direct retail flagship stores. 20% is coming from e-commerce platform. International retail is again coming a good amount of money, in which they are having retailers in New York, in London, Harrods, Browns Fashion. Pop-up stores and trunk shows may they participate. From there, basically 10% of the sales are coming. And digital and social media platform is again giving them 10% of total sale. So you can imagine how the entire mix of different channels they have created, right? Now, I mean, there's something which, again, as I told you, since the beginning, you have to have this entire clarity in your mind to understand how you're going to move ahead. Customer relationships, right? So this building blocks explain you that how you are going to do certain activities in which these customers they become loyal to you, right? Because bringing one customer on board requires money. How come? So let's say if you're doing that, let's do one marketing activity. My brand is new, and I have decided that 1st Jan 2025, I'm going to launch my brand, and I will have to promote it, right? So let's say in promotion, I have spent 5 lakh rupees. I'm not taking very huge amount of money, but I'm saying, okay, let's say you are investing 5 lakh rupees on social media, right? And by spending that 5 lakh rupees, you are able to fetch 5 customers who have spent, let's say, 10,000 rupees on your portal. They bought 10,000 rupees product, which means 50,000 rupees in your first 2 weeks you got. But still, you haven't achieved your break even, because 5 lakh you have spent, 50,000 you got. What will you do? You will not again spend 5 lakh rupees to do one more marketing activity. Rather, people who have attended that specific event of yours, you're going to contact them, call them, because calling will not charge you huge amount of money. Or people who already purchased from you, you are going to call them to repurchase from your side, right? So that is something which is called, in customer relationships, we focus on three major areas. If you are a startup, you are going to majorly emphasize on customer acquisition. If you are a well-established brand, you are going to also work on retention. So let's say if you are able to convert one customer and he is spending on an average 10,000 rupees every year with you, and you spend 5 lakh rupees, so you have to make sure that that customer should keep on buying from you till you are not able to recover that 5 lakh rupees. That's called break even, right? So customer retention is very important because you don't have to spend money to retain the customers, right? However, in customer acquisition, you have to spend a lot of money over there. Third area is upselling, which means, okay, a person is coming to buy belt. You said, okay, why don't you buy socks also from me? Or if a person is coming and buying, let's say, iPhone, and you would say, buy accessories for iPhone also, right? So this is customer relationship attribute. This is one of the example of Sabyasachi. What exactly do they do to create that relationship so that they are able to have loyal customers with them, right? So personalized consultation they are offering. Have created a kind of community in which they do certain events and they invite all the owners. I mean, people who have bought anything from Sabyasachi at any given point of time, they create community around it, right? They do exclusive events, which means private events. So Sabyasachi will say, okay, I'm going to launch a new collection of spring summer 2025, and I'm going to invite my existing clientele, and only these VVIP clients are having access to enter Taj and see my event, attend my event. It's called exclusive events. After sales support, and then finally brand story. So there's something basically what Sabyasachi is doing as an example. Now we spoke about value proposition, we spoke about the right side, how you're going to reach to your customers. Now we are going to come on the left side of business canvas, which is key resources. So in order to deliver that specific value proposition, in the beginning we said, what are you going to offer? To make sure that you are able to offer that specific product or service, what all resources do you require, right? So there are 4 different set of resources which exist in any kind of company. First is physical resources. So do you require a factory? Do you require a store? Do you require building? Or do you require plants, machinery, right? Anything tangible assets will come in the physical resources, right? So if you will say that I want to become Purnia Pop Shop, it's basically a multi-brand outlet. And she said that I don't want to create a brand. I mean, I don't want to manufacture anything. I only want to sell. So if, let's say, any person have launched a brand by the name of let's say, Mr. White is a brand name, and Parnia will say that don't want to create brand Mr. White, but you can sell your product on my brand. So his key resource, her key resource would be to just have retail store. I don't need factory. I don't want to invest in factory because that is not my proposition. Is I don't want to offer beautiful designs. I don't want to create, but I want to give a platform to all the designers who are creating or having factories can sell their product on my store, right? So this is called physical resources. Second is intellectual resources. Intellectual resources are majorly patents and intellectual property rights. So how many patents you have defined how rich your resources are. So that comes under intellectual resources. Even the brand name which you get trademark for comes under intellectual resources. So if you, let's say, you're planning to sell any company, right? So when Versace is getting sold and it has been acquired by Capri Holdings, it's not only physical resources which they bought, but they also bought intellectual resources. And that's why the valuation goes to any amount of money, because intangible Versace name can have any value, right? Third is human resources. Human resources means, for example, Sabyasachi company has Sabyasachi himself as a important human resource. If Sabyasachi, that person, leave the company Sabyasachi, it won't have that value. Calvin Klein, if Mr. Calvin Klein leave the company Calvin Klein, it might not have the same kind of name which it has, right? And last is financial resources. So how much of capital, cash, credit lines you are available with. right? So if you want to start a company in which you want to manufacture on your own, you want to distribute on your own, you have to have your own stores, which means that you require huge amount of capital, right? Do you want to take loan about that capital, or do you want to go to investors to for that financial aid? So if you are clear on day one that these are the resources which are required, you are going to approach accordingly. This is example of Manish Manotra. So they have creative talent, skilled artisans, or people who are karigars who know how to do that specific kind of embroidery is asset, is resource for the company. Brand reputation IP, as I explained you, that brand name Manish Manotra itself is a resource for the company. Luxury boutique stores, production facilities, which Manish Manotra owns, is a resource. Digital platform is also owned, is a key resource of the company. It goes into intellectual property, and high quality materials, whatever they are importing or having in their inventory house, is basically their resources. Now, since you are clear that what all resources do you want to keep in house, based on that your activities will be defined. Do I want to create Parnia Pop Shop, wherein I'm going to only focus on downstream activities, or I want to become Manish Manotra or Sabyasachi, wherein I'm going to have upstream activities also and downstream activities as well, right? For example, Uber, Ola is majorly into downstream activities. They are not buying cars, right? So key activities can be divided into downstream and upstream activities. Based on your resources, you will define which all activity you want to keep in-house. So let's say I am a designer and I want to create great graphics, right? You don't want to you will not outsource that graphics to someone else, because that's your USP. You are so brilliant, you are so good at specific software, you are so good in creating and ideating and thinking different kind of graphic designs, right? You don't want to outsource it, you want to keep it in house, which means that you yourself are going to design it, right? But selling ke liye, it's okay, anyone can approach any client. So you will hire employees and you will ask, okay, go and market my, tell them that, I am a person who do very good graphics, arrange a meeting. So you can outsource it, okay, fine, let them do it. But you don't want to give the entire, you know uh, product or those graphics to third party, because they can copy it, they can use it. These are certain key activities which Sabyasachi is doing. Design and development is in the house. Strategic collaborations they have. Craftsmanship and production again in house. Retail operation, that means they are having their own stores. Most of the marketing and branding activities are in house by Sabyasachi, right? That's why you have seen that Sabyasachi is not having 200 stores across India. You will find very limited stores, because with time he is increasing number of stores, right? Now, once you have decided your resources, that this is something which I want to keep in house, based on those, you are doing those activities. Now, certain things you don't want to get into. So, this is something which comes key partnerships. Now, Jimmy Choo is a company which makes shoes, right? So, they are making it in house. But the kind of crystals, Swarovski crystal they are making, they don't want to manufacture crystals. They will say that crystal manufacturing is not my cup of tea. I'm going to collaborate with Swarovski. So you can see that Swarovski and Jimmy Choo have collaborated, wherein Swarovski will design specific crystals only for Jimmy Choo, which he will not sell to anyone else. Right? Second is buyer-supplier relationship. Like for example, Zara. Zara have picked one factory and have told that factory that, I'm going to offer you my entire production. You have to do it. But there is only one condition, that you are not going to manufacture any other company in your factory. In return, factory will say, okay, my condition is that my factory capacity should be fully utilized throughout the year. And once both of them agree on that, Zara don't have to open a factory. They can outsource it, because that is not their USP. I mean, basic garments, they don't keep in house. That is getting outsourced. Joint ventures. Recently, when Tiffany, I think Tiffany is a luxury jewelry brand, entered Indian market, they came in collaboration with the Reliance Brand Limited. Why? Because Reliance is having a lot of retail stores in India. They have a good grip in Indian market, but Tiffany is a new player. He do not understand India as a market. That's why this kind of partnerships are coming up, right? So Very good example. Again, I'm going back to Ola and Uber, wherein all taxi drivers are key partners of the company. Why? Because they, in terms of resources, they don't want to buy cars. So that's why, they have kept light model in which they do not have invested huge amount of money in buying cars. That's why they're able to offer you good price points per taxi services. This is one. This is an example of Sabyasachi ecosystem in terms of partnerships. So of course, artisans. So a lot of karigars are basically working with Sabyasachi in terms of strategic partnerships, right? Certain retailers like in London and New York, they are having a kind of partnership with the retail players in those countries, because at that place Sabyasachi do not own the store, right? Celebrity stylist. So Sabyasachi cannot own the stylist. There are 3 free stylists over there, and they have done a kind of collaboration. That why don't you basically, tell celebrities to use my products? Material suppliers. So Sabyasachi have asked couple of good material suppliers that you are going to supply this material only to me, not to any other else, right? Logistic and shipping. So of course, if Sabyasachi would like to ship something from Delhi to Chennai, they have a kind of partnership with Blue Dart or DTDC Express Services, wherein they are able to deliver a product within 24 hours. Eighth is revenue streams. Again, you have to understand what kind of model you want to have in revenue. One is called transactional, which means you will market it, promote your product, you will get customers, customers will come in your store or on your website, take your services and go. That's called transaction services, transactional revenue, which means every time you have to promote, customer will come, buy it and go. So any one of you is going to Zara and buying a product is called transactional revenue. Second is revenue, recurring revenue. What is recurring revenue? For example, Netflix, right? They will, they will not promote every time. You take a subscription plan for a year, and every month you are getting 199 rupees, 199 rupees, because customers का वो renew आपका हो रहा है. Subscription of magazines, Vogue. If you have taken the entire year का subscription, every month they are going to charge 180 rupees, 180 rupees, 180 rupees, right? So this is recurring. So you have to understand, when you're creating your company, do you want to go into recurring revenues or transactional revenues? Let me give you example in fashion. So transaction mein most of the companies, are doing it. They have store, you go to store, you buy a product, transaction happens and you come out. But recurring revenues mein, there is a company called uh, I forget the name. What exactly they're doing? They're telling you that give me 1 lakh rupees for a subscription, right? Yeah, the company name is Rock and Shop. So they are saying that you take a subscription from me of 1 lakh rupees. In the entire year, 4 times, I am going to send you a gift package, right? So there are people who are looking to give themselves, and it's a kind of, not clear that what exactly will be in the gift. The only thing they know, that if they have taken a subscription of 1 lakh rupees, they will get product worth of 3 lakh rupees at the end of the year, right? So let's say a kind of gift box in which Jimmy Choo shoe is there, and Dolce and Gabbana perfume is there, a dress from Versace is there, and once you open it, it's like, self gifting is something which is there. So a lot of companies outside the country are doing it, and a lot of companies in India also doing it. So recurring revenue is something which is, once you are able to bring customer on board, you are going to get revenue almost forever, kind of forever. Netflix जब तक अच्छा करेगा, you will keep on providing money to them, right? This is something which we talk about. Most of them is basically transactional. So you will find bridal couture collection Sabyasachi has, fine jewelry they have, ready to wear they are getting a lot of amount of money. One very good collaboration they did with H&M. So they created a ready to wear line which was getting sold at H&M store, was something which kind of gave them a kind of transactional thing. And then accessories. So you will see that most of the areas Sabyasachi is doing is transactional revenue only, right? Recurring is more like you take a service and you take for, for example, LinkedIn Premium. If you take LinkedIn Premium, you have to pay every month some amount of money. If you take yearly plan, it will keep on getting renewed. And last is cost structure. As I explain you that if you want to get into volume driven business game, you have to keep your cost structure light, which means no need to manufacture on your own. Outsource it. You will get better cost, right? If you want to send product, don't go directly to Blue Dart. Go to a person, a kind of agency who is delivering the product, like Shiprocket. Why they are going to offer you a better price? Because when you're going to go to Blue Dart and say that every day I'm going to give you one package. So of course, Blue Dart will charge 20 rupees, let's say, per kgs. But if you're going to third party, which is collecting orders from a lot of small startups and is having every day 100 boxes of courier. So Blue Dart, of course, is going to offer 10 rupees for 100, a company who's offering 100 boxes. So you always have to think how I can reduce the price. Because if you're able to reduce the cost of your product or your service, then only you can compete in volume driven business, which means compete on price points. कि सेम प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, सेम मार्केट है, सेम कस्टमर्स, पर मेरा सस्ता होगा. सस्ता कैसा होगा? जब आप इसको आउटसोर्स करोगे, when your cost structure is light. But if you say that no, I want to charge good amount of money, then you have to have value driven structure, which means you have to increase investment. You have to have your own store so that you can give that kind of experience to the customers. You are able to tell the stories about your brand. So that is something which is called value driven structure. This is something which we talk about Manish Malhotra. So Manish Malhotra is majorly on value-driven structure. That's why they have high skilled labor cost, premium raw materials, retail and showroom expenses, marketing and advertising expenses, logistic and inventory management, research development, and brand productions as well. Right? So coming back to it, just a quick recap. At center is your value proposition, what you want to create. Left side is how you want to create, wherein you will talk about which activities you want to keep in-house and which you would like to outsource. Based on that, you are going to define your resources. Once your proposition is ready, you are going to reach to your customers. You have to define who will be your customers, which kind of B2C or B2B model you want to get into, or you want to create a balance of both, how you're going to reach to your customers, channels, and last, how you're going to make money out of it. So that was all for the day. Any questions? Now we are open for any questions if you have.
Thank you so much, sir, for all of your knowledge and putting this into a wonderful presentation for all our learners. I see that it is late and we are sort of now losing our learners. So we'll just open the floor to questions. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the Q&A box. Um, so let me only start while other people are putting in the questions. So because you have sort of spoken about um, this 9 step structure, but mostly you've spoken from a very product driven point of view. Do you think these designers or entrepreneurs who are young and are starting in the field of design can also use this model to apply to their non-product but service strategy or offer or services, something like that?
Yes, I mean, as I told you that any sector and any company can utilize this structure because this gives you clarity where to invest your time. So let's say if you, as I told you in between, I gave an example of graphic designer, that you know that what kind of art you are majorly making from those softwares. Everyone knows Photoshop or InDesign, but the kind of art you are creating that kind of art, and you have to understand who is going to be interested in buying such kind of art, right? Maybe any, like, people who are having big houses, they want to create a kind of big, art on one wall, and they are very shocking people कि ऐसा कुछ इस तरह का आर्ट, मॉडर्न आर्ट चाहिए. सो आपको देखना है, अगर मुझे ये कस्टमर को टारगेट करना है, तो मुझे अपना टाइम इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करना है. यू कान कीप ऑन जस्ट डूइंग इंस्टाग्राम प्रमोशन. आपको पता ही नहीं कि प्रमोट किसको कर रहे हो. सो यू विल इन्वेस्ट लॉट ऑफ मनी ओवर देयर. सो लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर डूइंग इट. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पोर्टल्स बिहान्स में लोग अपना अपलोड कर रहे हैं काम. इवन आपका जब ये एनएफटीज और मेटावर्स शुरू हुआ था, लॉट ऑफ एनएफटीज वर गेटिंग सोल्ड, जहाँ पे पीपल वर क्रिएटिंग आर्ट. एंड वजीर एक्स वाज अ पोर्टल जहाँ पे आप अपना आर्ट सेल कर रहे थे. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड मुझे बेचना किसको है, बी टू सी को या बी टू बी को. या दोनों का मिक्स क्रिएट करना है, तो यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम अकॉर्डिंगली, बिकॉज स्टार्टअप में आपका टाइम बहुत लिमिटेड होता है, बहुत सारी चीजें करनी होती हैं. यू कांट कीप ऑन जस्ट प्रमोटिंग ऑन इंस्टाग्राम, को लगता है कस्टमर खुद ही आ जाएगा.
And which sort of segues into the next question of mine, which is when you start your own thing, you have to be a generalist. You have to, yeah, your core is design or whatever it might be, but you also have to know about financing, marketing, sales, etc., etc. So, what do you think about that? Like, how should like a young person sort of gather those skills and put it together to sort of sell their product or service?
So I think I told you that, that if we, I mean, you are, let's say, very clear in what kind of product you have made. So you have two options. First is something you have to go and reach right portal or right people. I mean, a lot of agencies are there now, right? And you know that, okay, this kind of agencies majorly have high net individuals, let's say. So you will
Correct.
ask them, promote them. And if you want to do it, I mean, you can do it, but you have to again think, how will I reach to that specific client? I mean, I don't have money to open, let's say I have created a Instagram page, for example, like startup. मैं graphics बना रहा हूँ, मैंने graphics डाले Instagram page पे. But the problem is, how many followers do you have? So I have to find like-minded retail platforms जो इस तरह के ग्राफिक्स को प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज उनके पास 60,000 क्लाइंट्स ऑलरेडी हैं. तो अगर मैं अपना प्रोडक्ट वहां डालूंगा तो लोगों को एक झटके में 60,000 लोगों को मालूम पड़ेगा मेरे मैं किस तरह के डिजाइन कर रहा हूँ, और वहां से लीड आपके पास आएगी. तो स्लोली एंड स्लोली यू कान जस्ट क्रिएट इंस्टाग्राम पेज एंड बैठ जाओगे फिर, बिकॉज योर इंस्टाग्राम विल रीच द नंबर ऑफ फॉलोअर्स विद टाइम, एंड यू डोंट हैव टाइम कि एक साल बैठ के वेट करें, पहले फॉलोअर्स बढ़ाएंगे फिर सेल्स देंगे. सो यू कैन क्रिएट, लाइक पीपल, लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज डू लाइक दैट, कि वो थर्ड पार्टी जो आपके प्लेटफॉर्म्स है उसमें रजिस्टर करते हैं, वहाँ अपने आर्ट फॉर्म डालते हैं, अपना पोर्टफोलियो डालते हैं, और वहाँ से, बिकॉज एवरी डे लॉट ऑफ customers are searching these things, they come to you, they will reach you. You have to make sure that they reaches you.
Correct. So already we have a question from Pearl. Pearl is asking, can I know the name of the brand for personalized gifting? It's very interesting. I would love to learn more about it.
It's a rock and shop. Should
Okay.
I write?
Yeah, let me just try and
Rock and shop. Rock
and
and shop. So this is again, understand gifting में how they come up. It is a multi-brand outlet. So multi-brand outlet में बहुत सारे डिजाइनर्स अपना प्रोडक्ट रखते हैं अपने पास. जब सीजन खत्म हो जाता है तो लोग सेल पे जाते हैं, राइट. ये क्या करता है, उन सारे प्रोडक्ट का एक एक गिफ्ट आइटम बनाता है जो फ्लैट 50% ऑफ पे बेच रहा है वो,
correct.
राइट. तो दैट मीन्स अगर 1 लाख का सामान है तो 50,000 रुपए का सामान उसने उसको बनाया, तो उसको तो, आई मीन द ब्रांड वांट टू गेट rid of that inventory. So instead of going on sale and saying I'm on sale, they gift it in that box.
Right. And so, what advice would you give to sort of young designpreneurs or design entrepreneurs who are just starting out in the field? What would be your advice to them?
So I think one important thing is try to find like-minded people, like-minded businesses, because whatever time you're going to invest with these connections is going to help you in some or the other way. A person who is having, let's say, a kind of portal where they are selling certain kind of services, they are giving certain services. If you connect with them, their customer and your customer is same. You are going to give some other services, that company is giving some other services. So networking and meeting like-minded people is the key to any successful company.
And so, okay, last question, and we've also reached the end of the session. Um, since you've been in the design space for a while, you work with so many different brands. If you were to redesign something today, say something as small as a safety pin and as big as the Delhi Metro railway system, what would you redesign?
I think uh I mean, quite tricky question, but I think I would, in terms of business, because I was majorly into shoe and this Panch Tatvaa, the handicraft thing, that when now we are talking about this initiative of our Prime Minister Modi ji, where now we are majorly focusing on Indian culture and heritage. I mean, a lot of different arts and crafts which were almost about to vanish from the country. I mean, this something is something which we should have started much ahead. Everyone is knowing country India as a mass producing country. But now we are becoming quality producing products. Why we want to buy French wine or Swiss chocolates or Swiss watches, or shoes from Italy or bags from Paris? Why not? This is coming from Indian market. I mean, we have seen Prada who have launched Kolhapuri chappal worth 1 lakh rupees, or हमारे यहाँ 500 रुपए मिलते, तो we don't value that thing. Now we value it.
Now we value it, right?
Yeah.
I think we've gotten two more questions. So Vizam is asking, I have a question. So let's say if you have a creative design agency and you're looking to implement AI into your platform, how would I make myself stand out in the saturated market? Since everyone is using Canva or there's some other agency doing this, or clients would think, why should we use your services when it's cheaper to use ChatGPT Pro?
Okay, so very good question, Wissam, because there's something which is a kind of dilemma in every person's mind. Entire market is full of AI, but very important, a person who is smart or who understand the process of creating something will always give right prompts to that specific AI. A person who do not understand the process of creative design will not give accurate prompts, right? So the kind of output a trained person who will get from that chat GPT, or let's say, Lovable, and a lot of Leonardo, lot of AI tools are there, will be much better and refined. Think like this, that treat AI as your, as your servant, not your master.
I think it goes back to what you were presenting also, just like value proposition. What is it that you bring to
Correct.
the experience or the service or the product? So your value proposition is if it's better and different than AI, then you obviously stand out. So we have another question from Pearl. Pearl is asking if we put out our, say, products on an aggregator website or uh, an e-commerce platform like say Mintra or a Nykaa or etc. They are also technically our competitors. How does that help us?
So Pearl, as I told you that, if you are having financial backing like Ambani's or Adani's, you can create Myntra, right? But day one, think that you have website, you have Instagram page, and there are zero followers. You will ask your friends to follow your page, okay, 5, 10, 15. You can't wait for 6 months. If you have launched spring, summer, you have to sell it from January to June itself. So by going on aggregator, what happened? I mean, this is human tendency. You go on Amazon or you go on Myntra, आप सर्च करते हो और नीचे देखते हो कि इसको डिलीवर कौन कर रहा है. अब आते नीचे नाम लिखा था अभिषेक कुमार वर्मा की कंपनी है, अभिषेक कुमार वर्मा इज डिलीवरिंग दिस प्रोडक्ट. फिर कस्टमर हैव बिकम सो स्मार्ट, he will go on अभिषेक वर्मा की वेबसाइट, will call him that I saw your product on Amazon और Myntra, वहां पे आप इसको 5,000 में बेच रहे हो. अगर मैं आपसे डायरेक्टली लूँ तो कितने में बेचोगे? बिकॉज उस कस्टमर को पता है कि अमेजन और मिंत्रा आपसे मार्कडाउन ले रहा होगा. सो फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, पहले कस्टमर लाओ तो अपने पास आप. टिल द टाइम पीपल आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट योर प्रोडक्ट, आप यू हैव क्रिएटेड ब्यूटीफुल प्रोडक्ट. आई मीन सबको आपने पीछे छोड़ दिया, बट किसी को पता नहीं है. और जब तक पता चलेगा, आपका पेशेंस लेवल और आपका पैसा खत्म हो चुका होगा. सो इट्स बेटर गो ऑन अमेजन, go on Mintra, take their clients, bring on your website. Once you are having, let's say, Mintra के पास कम से कम 6 लाख कस्टमर्स हैं, तो आपका प्रोडक्ट 6 लाख कस्टमर्स के सामने आ जाएगा. मैं बोलता हूँ अगर उसमें से सिर्फ 60 कस्टमर से पूरे साल में आपके पास आते हैं, then you remove from Mintra slowly and start building your start working on your website.
Right. I think Pearl is also asking that if you're meeting like-minded people and networking, they are also our competitors.
Again, as I told you, now that let's say, I mean, it's not like competitors, but when you sit, I mean, there is a concept, new concept has arises which called competition. So competition is there, but cooperation is also there. For example, let's say in the entire India, there is one shoe company, right? And it has store in, let's say, Vasant Kunj. Now, if I'm a shoe brand, right, and that company is my competitor, I will definitely open my shoe brand next to his shop, because now no one knows me, but 60,000 people are going to his store. Out of those 60,000 people, at least 100 people will see my store from outside, 50 will come inside the store, 40 will buy. right? So the thing is ki what they are saying, for example, Ferragamo and Jimmy Choo are at same store, right? Ferragamo and Jimmy Choo are offering same kind of price point, 60,000 rupees, different kind of shoes. So what they are doing competition mein ki if you want high heels, you will not go to Ferragamo, you will go to Jimmy Choo, right? But if you want office wearing shoe with big flat heel or maybe block heels, you will go to Ferragamo. दोनों के प्राइस पॉइंट सेम है, विच मीन अल्टीमेटली कॉम्पिटिंग, दोनों ही पाँव में पहन रहे हो जूते आप, तो कॉम्पिटिशन कॉम्पिटिशन तो है ही ना, बट क्योंकि इन दोनों ने मार्केट क्रिएट कर दिया, अब किसी को हाई हील चाहिए था और फेरागामो हाई हील बनाता ही नहीं है, सो व्हाट दे आर डूइंग, दिस इज योर पाए, दिस इज फेरागामोस पाए, जब जिमी चू आया तो ये पाई इंक्रीज हो गया, बड़ा हो गया, और फिर कॉम्पीट किया उन्होंने, तो वो
Hmm.
ईट अप नहीं कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे को.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge, sir. Vizam is saying very good point. I love that. Okay, with that, we've reached the end of the session. Thank you so much, sir, for doing this for us. I hope everybody has sort of gotten their answers and what is it that they were looking for from this session. And thank you for doing this for us. Thank you for taking out the time to do this for us. Everybody who stuck around till the end of the session, thank you for taking out the time to do this with us on a Tuesday evening. With that, I say bye bye and good night.
Thank you so much, Shubhangi, and thank you to everyone, and very good day ahead. Bye bye.
Bye.